Well, she's back. I put the modified carb on it, and it is running so much better. It's actually revving up. And another thing I wanted to mention, this was the other cylinder that I had for it that I previously ported. And I think that when I set up the timing wheel, it was wrong because the exhaust roof is like way too high. And I don't know if doing this was the right call either, since it's a reed saw, like if it wasn't getting enough pressure for the reeds. Because I literally, as soon as the saw blew up, not as soon, but I put this on it, you know, made the coil work and all that shit. And it literally just shoots fireballs out of the exhaust of this. Like, it doesn't start, it just pops, and then a fireball comes out. And yeah, I'm confusion. I think it's because I raised the exhaust roof too much, like stupid high. But yeah, I kind of want to hear other people's inputs on this. Well, let the games begin. We got a 372 standard bore, port work, mostly to transfers, mildly on the intake and exhaust. I like to focus more on the transfers, honestly. And we got the p-41. And if you're wondering, a X-Torque, I think that's the air filter mount right here, fits on these perfectly. And so does, obviously, the filter. But that's what I'm running now because the original filter just loved to eat dust. So this one will go first since the bar and chain's already on it. And yeah, see how it goes. All right, 372 XP standard bore. Now I keep forgetting to put the choke lever back in it. So every time you start it, you gotta reach your little finger in and flick the choke. Decomp definitely needs it. Pretty good chips coming out of that. That's a nice fresh filing I did. Definitely taking the teeth down helped the rakers out. It's not as grabby anymore. But all right, now I'll swap bars, put it on the Pioneer, and 2 cuts. I just noticed that this wrist pin was a little loose. Looks like there's a chunk missing out of it. Huh. Oh yeah, there is. That can just fall right off. Well, that's something that's gonna have to be addressed sometime. This saw seems like it's a little cursed because like every time I use it, like the littlest thing just fails. Like the spring on the starter, the little tab just broke off randomly. The coil died randomly. I went to replace it and the bolt stripped out. Now this is a Farmer Tech case, and I mean obviously the dog broke off too, so now it's just this. But I don't know, something about this saw is just a little cursed. Oh shit. I forgot to widen this bar up so it won't fit on the Pioneer. Alright, got the bar and chain on. Just had to file that down so I could fit it over it. And as I was doing that, I was taking a closer look at these shavings, and goddamn, there are some sharp teeth on that chain. Like, look at the fucking chips. I'm not totally sure what kind of wood this is. I think it's oak, but like, I don't know. I'm not an expert on the species. But I am an expert on filing chains. There are some nice chips in here. But now it's the Pioneer's turn, so let's see what it has. Now I did just tune this carb in the driveway with no chain on it, so it wasn't in wood, so it might need a couple touch-ups to the jets while it's in wood, so I'll do a couple test cuts first. All right, test cutting time. I think the piece of wood got too small. And when it hits the high limiter, it goes wow. That's the coil limiter. That's not the carb. That's the coil. So, yeah. She is fucking back. I still think that one won, though, just because, like, 71 cc's versus 66. Although that is a reed saw. That last cut felt pretty damn good. I'm gonna try and get one more cookie out of it. I don't know how well it'll work because it's pretty thin, but we'll see. And I'll show you what I mean by the coil limiter. I'll do it again. Alright, we got another piece of wood. Still don't know what it is, but it's pretty heavy, so I assume it's hard. And I'll do 2 cuts on this, put the bar and chain back on the 372, and yeah, that'll be it for this video. I don't know. I still think this one's faster. Without a doubt, that saw is the king. Like, I don't even have to look at the times, but hey, Pioneer, still impressive. I mean, you got to give it love. There's like maybe a 30-40 gap, you know, years between the two saws, so, you know, I'll let it pass. Okay, well, that was all I wanted to do for this little video. I'm gonna go back to splitting my pile. It's not as big as it used to be.